This is the introduction of my series called Why the Fuck Did I Stay? And first and foremost, I want to give a special shout out to Risa Tisa, who have paved the way and has given me the courage to tell my story as well. So in my series, I will just basically go into like how I dated this boy. We was together for 3.5 years, and basically like the lying, the cheating, the fighting, the finances, the sex, the everything that just today. Like it's crazy. Like it's just so much shit that went on, like your fucking head is gonna spin. Like I'm still trying to wrap my head around all this fucking shit as to what the fuck was I thinking and why the fuck did I stay? I don't know if it was love. I don't know if it was just desperate to be. I don't know what the fuck it was. But when I tell y'all these motherfucking stories, all of this shit is real. None of this shit is made up. This was some Lifetime movie shit, and it shit really went on. And a lot of people who know me may know who I'm talking about. This is not a series to bash him. I'm not trying to get on nobody's hate train. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is just literally telling y'all the events of what happened in our life. You know, there ain't no hard feelings. You know what I'm saying? He's doing him, I'm doing me. We're in no contact. You know what I'm saying? So I hope you guys enjoy it for the most part. And that's really pretty much it. You know, I hope you guys enjoy me, you know, because I'm going to try to put, you know, a little, you know what I'm saying, make you guys a little more interested. But, you know, still, again, this shit really happened. So, yeah. So here we go. You know, follow me, and I'll tell y'all my part 1 to, I guess, why the fuck did I stay? What's up, y'all? So this is part 1 of why the fuck did I stay? So this all started during COVID of May of 2020. I had this little boy on Facebook I have never seen. And he had hit me up, and he was in my inbox. He was talking about he wanted to see me. And he told me to slide on him. He'd send me his address. I went to go see him. Mind you, I picked him up from his mama's house. And I'm asking him, I'm like, so you stay with your mama? He's telling me this is temporary. I ain't going to be here for too long. I'm ready to get my car. I'm ready to move out. I got a trust fund that I'm ready to get in 2 months when I turn 21. Cool. This is nice. We gets to my house. He gets in my house. He's just ecstatic of everything that I have. Like, he's just fascinated. So I'm like, okay, this red flag. Like, you act like you ain't never even had anything. I'm like, okay, it's cute, whatever. At this point, I'm trying to figure out, like, what's up? Like, he's telling me, oh, I like dudes. I done been with plenty of dudes. And, you know what I'm saying? I'm feeling you, like I like you, whatever the case be. So I'm like, all right. One thing led to another. We goes ahead and hooks up. Cool. It was nice. So I'm like, okay, it's time for you to go home. Let's get you home. Let's get you back to your mom's house. Gets him back to the mama's house. He come text me probably about an hour later. He done got on my Instagram. He's looking at like all of my everything I got going on. He done seen our motto. I got a clothing line. He was like, you know, that's dope what you got, and I'm a rapper. So I'm like, oh, so you rap? I was like, let me get the credentials. Let me get on your page, see what you got going on. Gets on the page. He's got 300 followers. Mind you, I wasn't even too much worried about the followers now. He done posted, he's got a girlfriend. He's got this little girl, and him and the girl posted all in every picture. So I'm like, this is crazy. Like, we just fucked, and you got a girlfriend. Like, what's going on? He's telling me, oh, no, she's just a cover-up. You know what I'm saying? I got this record label looking at me. I told you I'm a rapper. And, you know, they're trying to, I got to keep up the image if I want them to sign me. Cool. Didn't think too much of it. Next day, he hits me up. He was like, do me a favor. Come take me to work. I'm like, all right, whatever you want. You can get whatever you like. You know, he gives me the address. We pulls up to the job. We pulls up to the gas station. It's Thornton's. I'm like, so you work at Thornton's? Like, no judgments on here. He was like, nah, his people own the Thornton's, and he's just coming to help out. I was like, okay, cool. He's at work. He called me right back and was like, hey, I need you to do me another favor. He was like, give me $300. I'm trying to get this new iPhone. He was like, and I get my check. I'm going to pay you right back. I'm like, all right, I got it. I'll give you the $300. Gives it to him. Next day, he goes and gets the iPhone. Day after day, he pays me back. Cool. So, calls me again the next day. He was like, can you come and get me from the studio? Comes and pick him up from the studio. Pause. The nigga's a whole different nigga from the nigga that I just met a week ago. He's got new clothes, new shoes, fresh to death, jewelry and everything. I'm like, The fuck? I'm like, what's up? He was like, oh, I just got signed. You know what I'm saying? They gave me all this money, got this advancement, blase, blase, blase. I'm like, this is dope. Like, tell me more about it. He was like, he couldn't tell me too much because he just signed the NDA. Cool. Didn't think too much of it. He was like, plus, you know what I'm saying? I'm feeling good. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to go to this house party later on to celebrate with my friends. I'm like, cool. So he was like, drop me off so I can go get ready, come back to get me. I said, okay. I goes home, go gets ready. I picks him back up. We headed to the house party. We drives all the way to the house party. As soon as we get there, he was like, hold on. Like, the girl that's hosting it, she said she don't know you and she don't feel comfortable with letting strangers in the house. Cool. I'm not really tripping. Like, I can go back home. Like, I'm good. He was like, come pick me up later on because I got to be at work at 7 a.m. I was like, okay, cool. Later on came. He come text me. He was like, I think I'm going to stay tonight. I'm having a good time. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really ready to go home. Cool. I'll see you in the morning. 7 a.m. came around. I'm calling the phone. I'm like, you know, what's up? Where you at? He's not answering. Taking the phone. Blowing the phone up. Like, where are you at? He's not answering. I'm beating on the door of where the address that he sent me. Nobody's answering. I happen to peek through the window. No signs. No party. Nobody's in there. So I'm like, all right, so I'm walking back to the car. Here he comes. He's coming out the house. I'm like, oh, okay, there you go. He looks a mess. Like, you can tell he been drinking. He's hungover. So he gets in the car. I'm like, so what happened? Like, where's everybody at? He was like that. Nobody ended up coming to the party. It was just him. I said, so if it was just you and nobody came to the party, why didn't you have me come back and get you last night? He was like, oh, I was having a good time. You know, I didn't really want to leave. You know, my friend made me stay. You know, she was having me drink. I had never drunk before. So I'm like, so you was chilling with the little girl or whatever. So I didn't, you know, I'm like, all right. He was telling me that, you know, she got him drunk and he was, you know, didn't want to drink and she was trying to come on to him. So I'm like, that's weird. Like, why is she coming on to you? Like, you're gay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? And he was like, well, she knew that. And I kept trying to tell her no. So he's kind of like beating around the bush. I'm like, did you fuck this little girl? Like, let's keep it funky. So he was telling me no. So I was like, look, one thing I hate is a liar. Like, go ahead and keep it real with me. Like, if you fucked her, it's cool. Like, did you fuck her? So he was like, yeah, I fucked her. Bet. At this time, I'm just like, my whole mood is switched. I'm like, cool, I'm ready to take you home and get you on about your way because I'm already like, I can't do this. Like, you just whole fuck somebody else. I only been knowing you for probably about a week. Like, and we've been rocking. Cool. Takes him home. Let me tell y'all what I did in part 2 of why the fuck did I stay. So this is part 2 of why the fuck did I stay. So just to recap part 1, you know what I'm saying? He was telling me that he was going to this house party and he really wasn't. He was going over to spend a night with this girl and fuck him. So speed it up. Adam went home and wrote up this letter basically saying like, I don't want to be with you no more. I'm done. This is over. So he comes over back to my house and Adam gave him the letter to read. So he reads the letter and he just starts crying. He was like, you know, I'm sorry. I want to work this out. Like, I love you. I really want to be with you. So I'm like, okay, like, well, if you love me, then why the fuck did you go cheat on me? So he's telling me, he was like, you know, I've been through a lot. And he's beginning telling me that, you know, he's really from California. He lived there with his mama and his daddy. His daddy was this big time drug dealer. The daddy got locked up. So the mama moved to Kentucky where we live at now. And she remarried, had kids. And the husband that she married abused him, kicked him out the house. And he got tied up with some friends and got locked up. And he just got out last year. So I'm just like, okay, like, I guess, like, you know, I'm heartfelt about the situation. I'm like, well, if we do work this out, like, is there anything else you want to tell me? Like, don't lie to me. Like, I don't want no lies, no secrets, no nothing. So he was like, okay, well, I'm also not a rapper. I really didn't get signed. So I was like, well, how did you have all the money and the clothes? Like, when I seen you, like, what was this all about? He was telling me that the money that he had was fake. The clothes and the jewelry that he had on, he borrowed from somebody else. I'm like, okay, like, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, okay, well, we can still work this out. It's okay. You don't need to be no superstar to be with me. So, you know, time goes on. So later down the line, he's hit me up. He was like, can you take me to go look at this car? So I'm like, sure. We go look at the car. It's a 2018 BMW 7 Series, way over his head. he was like, I'm gonna get it. So I took his picture while he was test driving. So he done took the picture, posted it all on Facebook, told the whole world that he done bought this new car. So word gets back to the mama that he done got a new car. So she's trying to figure out what's going on. He done told the mama, like, he's like, yeah, I've been hanging out with my friend from work. So I'm just like, friend from work? Like, who the fuck? He was like, listen, my mama don't know that I'm gay. Play along with it. And this is what we're going to do. So I'm just like, okay, like, so we gets to the mama's house. You know, I had to go along with this saying that I'm his friend from work. So she's asking me questions like, you know, you cute. You know what I'm saying? All this, blah, 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 blah. So I can already tell that she's suspicious. Like, this nigga, like, y'all got something more than going on. So I just was whatever. We gets back to my house. She's calling, texting, calling, trying to figure out what we doing. So, I don't know. He was talking to her, and I think I walked in her. I had on my underwear, and I got on the phone. I don't even know if I was paying attention or not, but I know I had my underwear on, and I got on the phone with her. So she was like, so what's the relationship between you and my son? I was like, that's my friend from work. I was like, then that's what he told her. She was like, well, you got a girlfriend? I was like, no. And she was like, well, you don't have no girlfriend because you got something going on with my son. Excuse me? And I'm like, I'm telling this lady, I'm like, no, I don't. Like, that's my friend, and we work together. She was like, listen, I'm not stupid. She said, plus you just walked in here with your underwear on. So I was like, fuck, caught. So I was like, okay, listen. Yes, me and the son got something going on. We've been together all this time, and blase, blase, blase. And she was like, okay, put my son back on the phone. He gets back on the phone. She was like, why didn't you tell me that this was your boyfriend? He's like, what? Loses it. He darts out the house. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? She was like, run after him. Go get him because he's suicidal. So I'm trying to go get him. I'm like, what's wrong? Calm down. He's like, I'm going to kill myself. My life is over. So he's jumping in front of cars. Like, I'm trying to calm him down. So she was like, just help him. So I don't got him. I don't got him back in the house, trying to talk to him. All this is going on. This is way too much for me. So I was like, asking mom, I'm like, what do you want me to do? So she was like, you know, you really just need to be there for him. He just needs somebody. Like, he apparently he loves you, and, you know what I'm saying, be there for him and take care of him and don't leave. And I'm like, okay, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. So I'm talking to him, and at this point, I'm just like, I don't know what to do. And he's looking at me, I'm looking at him, and he was like, this is all your fault. I'm like, ain't that a bitch? So I'm gonna tell y'all what happened after he told me that in part 3. So this is part 3 of why the fuck did I stay? So recap, you know what I'm saying? The mama just found out that me and him is actually together, and he's gay, and he done said that it's my fault. So I'm asking him, I'm like, how's it my fault? He was like, because you don't understand. Now that my mama found out that I'm gay, she's not going to accept me. My family's going to reject me. My daddy's going to find out, he's going to kick me out, and then I'm going to be homeless again, and I'm not going to have nowhere to live. I'm like, well, you know what I'm saying? You can come and stay here with me. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, we're working a relationship. Like, come and move in with me. He was like, okay, I got to go home and get my stuff. So we takes him back to the mama's house to get all his clothes. So we leave, and he was like, well, I got to go up to my friend's house to get my other clothes. So we get to the friend's house, and this pregnant girl walks out, and he was like, yeah, she's asking like who I am, and he was like, this is my cousin. I'm like, he's looking at me like I'm the cousin, so he's looking over like we can like go along with it. So she was laughing and they giggling or whatever the case be. He's like, I'm the cousin. I'm like, all right, I didn't think too much of it. I went along with it. So, you know, he gets the clothes. We're leaving. I'm like, who is this girl? Like, you know what I'm saying? Why'd you tell I'm your cousin? He was like, oh, that's my baby mama. She don't know I'm gay. Bitch, what the? Pause. Baby mama. Continue. So I'm like, what the fuck? What was you gonna tell me that you had a baby on the way, that you had a whole baby mama? He was like, oh, well, I didn't really think it was that big of a deal because I ain't with her, I ain't been with her. It's not a big deal. Whatever the case be. So 2 weeks later, sped up, and she's calling him, telling about she's in labor and come to the hospital. She's about to have the baby. All this. She's having the baby at this point. So I don't took him to the hospital. and he has a baby, you know, beautiful baby girl. So now, you know, he's telling me, he was like, well, I really want you to get to know my baby mama. I want to get everything straightened out so it ain't no confusion. I was like, okay, let's cool. Let's all go out to eat. So we goes out to eat, and, you know, we sitting at the table talking. Mind you, the baby mama still don't know that me and him is together. You know what I'm saying? She does not know. So I'm, you know, he was like, hey, I want to share some news with you. She's like, okay. So he's telling her, he was like, this is really not my cousin. This is really my boyfriend. She looks like, what the fuck? Like, and I'm asking her, I'm like, are you, like, what's going on? Like, did you not know? Like, what, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? She was like, no, because we was just together last month, and he was telling me that we were going to be together. I'm ready to have the baby, and we're going to all be a family. So, mind you, we're all just at the table. Everybody's just stuck on stupid. Everybody lost their appetite. So I'm just like, bring me the check. I'm ready to go. I takes the baby mama home. Then I get in the car with him. I'm like, well, what the fuck? Like, why is she saying that y'all together? Like, you lying again. He was like, no, she's just mad because I don't want to be with her. She's making all this stuff. I ain't never told her that I wanted to be with her. We ain't been together. I didn't even know she was pregnant. I'm just at this point, look at my eye. It's lies. So I'm like, okay, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we gonna do? Like, I'm just like, I don't know what to do at this point. I was like, I can't do it. So I'll tell you what I did in part 4. Go to part 4. This is part 4 of why the fuck did I stay? So, recap. You know, the baby mama just found out that me and him was together. And, you know, she's saying that he's saying that they was supposed to be together when she had the baby. So I'm confronting him about it. I'm like, what's up? Like, why is she saying all this? He was like, she's making this shit up. You know, she's just mad because I don't want to be with her and she's having my baby. So I'm like, okay, cool. Well, at this point, I'm confused because you really been out here fucking these little girls and you talking about that you gay and you want to be with a man. So I'm like, what's up? He was like, well, you know, I don't really want to be with a woman. I just like the way that, you know, it feels, you know, when I have sex with them. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, at this point, I ain't never been with a woman, so I cannot relate. Like, I'm trying to see what the hype is about. He was like, well, shit, let's have a threesome. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, even still, like, even if we did, like, who would we have a threesome with? He was like, we can have the threesome with my baby mama because she's gonna do what the fuck I tell her to do. I'm like, okay, let's see what she say. So surely enough, she comes over, you know, we all gets tipsy and we have a threesome. You know, it's at this point, we're all friends. You know, I'm cool with her, she's cool with me, he's cool with her, blah, 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 blah. We're one big happy family. So, you know, we cool, you know, time goes by, you know, I'm helping them raise a baby or whatever the case be. Business is good. So now I partners up with my friend to open a store in the mall. I have this big grand opening. This is the biggest thing in the city. So at this time, this is tax time. So he done filed his taxes and got all this money. So he done went and bought me some clothes and some shoes. He done bought me a new iPad for my store. You know, he went to the jewelry store and bought me this ring. So he comes to the store and proposes to me in front of everybody. So, you know me, I'm like, I do. So at this point, we're engaged. Like, this is my whole fiance at this point. So, you know, time passes and he introduces me to his girl cousin and her girlfriend. You know, and we all cool, you know what I'm saying? We low key, we don't really have too many friends. So these is like our day one. So, you know, they would come back to the house, you know, we would all chill, we would all hang out, they'd come to the store, we would all be cool. So one day I just noticed her checking him out and I pulled him to the side. I'm just like, do you see what I see? Like, I know I'm not crazy. He was like, I don't even be paying attention. And even if she was, like, she's not even my type, like, ill, gross. Like, I would never. So I was like, oh, okay, like, you know, we ain't got to worry about that anyways. So I just kept my eyes open on her. So one day, you know, the guy that I was partnering in the store with, he pulls me to the side. He's telling me, he was like, listen, he was like, your fiance keeps carrying this gun. Mind you, he bought him a gun when he got his taxes. He's like, he keeps carrying this gun around. He's like, and if I catch him carrying it again, like, I'm going to have to kick you guys out. So I was like, okay. So I pulled him to the side and I'm just like, listen, you cannot carry the gun at her. You know, he's not listening to what I'm saying. He was like, okay, and still doing it. So I was like, okay, you don't want to listen. I'm going to take the gun myself and I'm going to take it and leave it at home. So I done took the gun. He was like, where the fuck, you know, he went out, where the fuck is my gun? And I'm like, I took it. He was like, give me my shit back. I was like, no. So at this point, we're arguing over this little bitty petty ass gun because I don't took it because he's not supposed to have it in the mall. So he was like, okay, bet. So he done took all of my clothes in the store, threw them outside in the mall, make this big scene like we was just fighting. So I'm just like, you are wilding. So at this point, I'm trying to keep professional. Like, what are you doing? He goes outside to my car, rips the bumper off my car, and just does it up. So I'm like, at this point, like, bitch, like, we arguing, cussing, whatever the case be. So he done called the girl cousin. He's like, cuz, come get me. She comes and picks him up. I done gave him some time to cool off. I calls later that night, and the cousin goes to work, so he's over there with the cousin's girlfriend. So I calls her. I'm like, what's going on? She was like, you know, he don't want to talk right now, and blase, blase, blase. So I'm like, okay, he don't want to talk. Okay, cool. So later that night, you know, she's in her car, and I'm FaceTiming her, and I'm like, so what's going on? Like, tell me about what he's talking about. So she's talking to me on the FaceTime in the car, and mind you, I'm seeing somebody in the passenger seat. I'm like, was that him in the passenger seat? She hurries up and hangs up the phone. Calling her back, no answer. So about a couple of hours later, you know what I'm saying? First of all, by this time I done pulled up. I'm like, where are y'all at? So a couple hours later, she still ain't answering. They calls me back. She was like, oh, my phone went dead. Okay, whatever the case be. So she was like, he's ready to talk. So we talking, and we makes up, we goes back home. Cool. Next day we goes to the store. So we gets to the store. My partner's at the store. He was like, listen, y'all gotta go. Like, I'm sorry. Like, y'all made a big scene and it's over. Mind you, I'm heartbroken. Like, they just told me that I have to leave this fucking mall. So I'm looking for him, like, to tell him the news, like this is what the fuck just happened. Like, it's over. He's on the phone arguing with somebody. I'm like, who? Like, at this point, who the fuck are you arguing with? He was like, this bitch. So I'm like, the bitch he's talking about is the cousin's girlfriend. And I'm like, what could y'all even be arguing about? Like what the fuck is up? So, mind you, they're arguing. We gets home, and I ain't even worried about that. I'm just distraught. I just lost my damn store. So I gets home. We trying to pack the stuff, get the U-Haul and all this and that. And I'm crying, and he comes to me. He was like, listen, I know that you said, he was like, I don't want to put no more pressure on you. He was like, but I got to tell you something. And I know it's going to break your heart, but I have to tell you. Like, what the fuck else could you fucking tell me? And I'm already having the fucking worst day of my fucking life. Go to part 5.